In one jaw-dropping moment, Home Depot delivered a message that left Trump's empire trembling. It wasn't whispered in back rooms or buried in fine print. It exploded across headlines, sparking a firestorm that no gold tower could shield. The statement was sharp, unapologetic, and carried the weight of millions of everyday Americans who had grown tired of the bluster. What had once been Trump's proud claim of business dominance now looked fragile, cracked by the very marketplace he boasted of owning. And as the words ricocheted through the country, one thing became undeniable. This wasn't just business, it was personal. For years, Trump wrapped himself in the image of the ultimate dealmaker, the man who built towers, casinos, and an empire branded with his name in gold. He boasted of being the businessman president, the one who understood the grind of corporate America better than anyone else. But behind the glittering facade, his reputation was fragile, built on perception as much as profit. That's why this clash mattered so deeply, when a cornerstone of American retail spoke out. It wasn't just a company making noise, it was a verdict on Trump's very identity. And just when he thought his business legacy was untouchable, the biggest shock came from a store millions of Americans shop at every week. Trump built his legend on the myth of the dealmaker, the man who could walk into any boardroom, cut through the noise, and walk out victorious. His name itself became a brand, plastered on hotels, golf courses, steaks, and even a university, all sold as symbols of power and success. To his followers, he was the embodiment of the American dream. But beneath the shine, shadows lingered. Casinos collapsed into bankruptcy, leaving workers unpaid. Contractors shared stories of promises broken and invoices ignored. Lawsuits stacked higher than the skyscrapers he bragged about. Each controversy chipped away at the golden image, exposing a figure more skilled in self-promotion than in loyalty or leadership. Behind the gold-plated doors, cracks were already spreading, and it would take only one well-aimed strike to shatter the illusion entirely. Home Depot was never just a store. It was a cornerstone of American life, a place where workers in dusty boots, families chasing a dream home, and retirees tinkering with weekend projects all converged. Born from the vision of working-class entrepreneurs, it grew not from gilded towers, but from aisles stacked with lumber, paint, and grit. Its brand wasn't built on ego, but on trust, a promise to help ordinary people build, repair, and create. To millions, the orange apron symbolized opportunity, a reminder that dignity comes not from bluster, but from honest labor. And while Trump projected wealth and grandeur, Home Depot represented the very people who kept the country standing. That's why when the company finally spoke, it wasn't just corporate PR, it was the voice of America itself. And one statement from this unlikely giant would shake Trump's brand like never before. The clash erupted like a storm. Trump, furious at the defiance, lashed out with trademark fire, dismissing Home Depot's stance, calling for boycotts, and framing the company as part of a so-called conspiracy against him. His supporters flooded social media with threats to cancel loyalty cards and shop elsewhere. While pundits debated whether the retail giant could withstand the backlash, but inside Home Depot's boardrooms, there was no panic. Executives stood firm, refusing to bend under the pressure of Trump's rage. Instead of retreating, they doubled down, releasing statements that only sharpened the contrast between corporate dignity and presidential bluster. Cameras captured the frenzy. News tickers blared, and Trump's late-night tweets poured gasoline on the fire. The nation watched the battle escalate, each side daring the other to blink first. But the real bombshell was yet to be dropped. Then came the moment no one saw coming. After days of sparring, Home Depot dropped its brutal bomb, a statement so sharp it cut through Trump's carefully crafted myth like a blade through glass. Calm, measured, and precise. The company laid bare what so many had whispered for years, that Trump's business success was built on shaky ground. More branding than substance, more spectacle than service. Dramatized. They were delivered with the quiet authority of a giant that had nothing to prove. And that silence, that composure, made the sting even worse. The reaction was instant. Newsrooms lit up, headlines screamed, and social media erupted in disbelief. Hashtags mocking Trump surged to the top of trending lists, and memes captured the contrast between his rage and Home Depot's dignity. For once, the self-proclaimed dealmaker looked rattled, fumbling between defensiveness and denial. His contradictions spilled out for the world to see. The titan of bluster was suddenly cornered by a company built on trust and hard work. And as America leaned in, one truth became undeniable. The mask was slipping, and Trump's empire it's been exposed on its most fragile front. The fallout was electric. Within hours, Twitter feeds were flooded with hashtags mocking Trump's stumble. While Instagram and TikTok pulsed with memes that turned his bluster into punchlines, late-night hosts seized the moment, delivering monologues that framed the clash as a turning point. The so-called titan of business, humbled by the very marketplace he once claimed to master. Pundits on cable news debated whether this marked a permanent crack in his brand, while everyday shoppers voiced pride in standing behind Home Depot. What began as a corporate statement had erupted into a cultural earthquake, shaking Trump's image far beyond the boardroom. And yet, in the middle of the laughter and applause, a deeper question lingered. What lesson would America take from this? In the end, this clash was never just about Trump or a retail chain. It was about what endures when arrogance collides. With integrity, Home Depot's quiet strength reminded America that real power isn't measured in gold-plated towers or angry tweets. It's measured in trust, service, and the dignity of everyday work. While Trump raged, the company stood as a symbol of something larger: the resilience of ordinary people who refused to be intimidated. The lesson was clear: truth has a longer shelf life than bluster, and respect outlasts ego. For millions watching, the message rang like a hammer strike. America is built not by the loudest voices, but by the hands that keep building anyway. That's how Home Depot exposed Trump with a brutal bomb, not with noise, but with truth. If you believe, dignity will always outshine arrogance. Share this story, subscribe, and join us for more political shockwaves ahead.